Hey guys, what's up? It's Iron from Vlad Tepes here, and today I'm going to be doing my first ever Force of Will deck profile, so I'm pretty excited for this. I'm going to be highlighting Vlad Tepes, which is probably one of the cards that's going to become really meta really soon, but I don't think we're going to be seeing too much tournament play yet because she's not yet tournament legal for some reasons, at least for some places in the qualifiers, but you might be seeing her in a local near you. Ding. Anyways, that was pretty bad. So basically, I'm just going to explain this really quickly. So at first glance, Vlad Tepes doesn't look like that great of a ruler, but she has a J activate for black and 2 colorless, and then she has a 2 colors ability that you can deal 200 to your opponent and then gain 200. So it's a Siphon 200. It doesn't seem really good at first, right? Like 2 colorless, I mean, you're just going to sit on this and then you're going to flip over and then it's absolutely useless. But well, one of the things is that if you ever hit late game with this card and you for whatever reason didn't flip over, and you're not going to flip over, just think about it. You tap 10 stones, they take 1000 damage and you gain 1000 life. If they're running out of cards at this point, you just keep burning them down and then they're basically dead. So Vlad is actually pretty overpowered because it straight up wins control matchups by itself, because if they're not playing Vlad as well, they're screwed because like they don't have a real way to kill you fast enough. So Vlad will just win automatically in a few turns. So she's great. She also deals very well with because this is a control deck. She deals very well with more aggro matchups, burn matchups. She's just really good because you can just use her ability to siphon 200, like whenever you have extra stones. So, yeah. And then for J Ruler's side, when she enters, you destroy target resonator with free cost or less. You gain life equal to its defense, so more life siphoning and spot removal is pretty nice. You hardly ever flip her, but if you do, then she's 801,000 baseline, which is pretty big actually. And then you can also make her imperishable by paying 1 black, 2 colorless, and banishing one of your darkness resonators. So overall, Vlad is pretty insane. She's going to be breaking the meta really soon. But I will explain just how I play the deck personally. There's a lot of different ways you can play Vlad, but I feel like this is my favorite way. So I'm playing 1 Grubelesta. Grubelesta's True Magic Stone, -0, -200. It also produces darkness. 1 Scorched Bales. 4 Blasting Waves, and then 4 Black Silence. So you can quickly see that this is going to be a green, red, black deck. And I'm also using green as the base because it's going to be utilizing the Gretel ramp engine. However, you might be asking me why I'm running these two, even though it hurts Gretel consistency. You honestly sometimes need the extra red and black, and Grubelesta is really good at like handling aggro matchups or just making you be able to trade a lot better. So also lets you side to Ebony Prophet if for whatever reason they're playing a huge amount of enter resonators, but I would probably not have to side into that because Vlad is just so good. It's not even funny. I wasn't too sure about it until I saw someone play it, my good friend Chris. And I was just like, oh my god, that's just what is this? This is just kind of stupid. You just swing at them and then they just take a punch and burn damage. I'm sorry if I'm rambling on. This is my first time, so I don't really... Please be gentle. But, yeah, I'm not very familiar with how to do Force of Will deck profiles. I'm just trying to go off of what I've seen on YouTube so far. But anyways, let's get started with the actual main deck, so the resonators. I'll just put these stones out of the way because I'm going to need the room. Whoop. And then, so I run 3 copies of Familiar of Holy Wind. Holy Wind is a really great 1-drop, lets you draw 1 on enter, 200 baseline, it's okay. And then you can pay 1 green to banish itself. You can deal 300. So if they try to remove it for whatever reason, you can just chase to that and then just deal 300 to something. So it's really cool. Cat is really nice. I don't run Cheshire Cat because there's no room for blue, and you honestly do not need it in this deck. And then, of course, I was talking about Gretel. Gretel ramp is great always. You reveal top. If it's greenstone, then you can put it into play. So lets you get lots of stones out quickly, and then start just using Vlad and abusing it. It's a 2/2 for 2, which is technically under baseline, but because it just provides such good ramp, it's always great to play. It's also a cheap blocker, whatever, yeah. Then I run 4 copies of Fiethsing, the Holy Wind Magus. Fiethsing I'm mainly targeting this video to more people that aren't familiar with how the game works, but Fiethsing is a free drop, but she has quick cast, which means you can play her at the same speed as a spell chant instant, so basically like same speed you would play a spell. When she enters, you can target something, and some resonator, and it can't deal any damage until the end of turn. So it's really nice. Kills Yamato no Orochi, which is the guy that can attack 8 times. And then it also can activate as like that's already really good because you can play her during your opponent's turn. But as if that was not enough, she can tap herself to produce any will. So yeah, that's just really good. Like it just fits in with the theme of ramp really hard. Lets you actually, if you just have 1 stone open, you can tap with Tepes and just be able to burn for 200 again. And when you play her, you can also block, so it's really good. Like, yeah, you just target something, doesn't deal damage, block it. If it, for whatever reason, it only has 500 or less defense, dies. So, really great. Fiethsing's she's really expensive right now because she's just that good. And then I run 4 copies of the other 6th stage from Moon Princess Returns, 0 to Magus of Null. It's honestly one of my favorite 6 stages from the old set. I wouldn't say she's the best 6 stage. Mujart is probably the best 6 stage in terms of her ability, like at least in the 6 stage deck. But this 0 is the Dark 0, so she has the same ability as Fiethsing. You can quick cast her into play, and when she enters, all the resonators your opponent controls get -200, -200. So it's basically like a mini Cinderella. And they also lose flying, meaning that if you're playing against some sort of flyer deck, then you can save yourself by using 0. She's really good at like handling. She's really good at trading very well, and she also like deals with like familiars, Gretels, Cheshire Cats. Just blows those up immediately, so it's really good. I like 0. She's really good free drop. Free drops is like. This mana curve is like pretty good, I feel. And then I'm gonna start going over my bigger threats. So I run 1 copy of Scheherazade, Teller of the Crimson Moon. So Scheherazade on the enter makes it so that any resonators of a chosen race cannot attack you. So if your opponent's playing some sort of theme deck, then they're basically screwed because they might not be able to remove her. And if she just stays there, then your opponent's just gonna die in a couple turns. She also has a secondary removal ability that actually is errata and should cost 5. And is probably not going to be used because your main goal is just to burn your opponent down. But she helps slow your opponent down a lot. It also kills 6 stage, sort of, if she hits the board early. But yeah. Then I ran 1 copy of Mephistopheles, the Abyssal Tyrant. Mephistopheles is a 4-drop Darkness Resonator. He's 15/15 with flying. He has target attack 2, which means he can attack recovered resonators. So he straight up kills pretty much any J-roller in the game. And he's also, when he's targeted, they take 500. So I really like this because, again, your goal is to burn your opponent down. So they either are going to take like 15/15 flying to the face, or they are going to, because they can't block it because it has flying, or they're going to take 500 for killing this. So either way, I'm fine with this. His downside, quote-unquote downside, is that if he's still alive at the end of the turn, then he needs to eat one of your resonators. So, kind of sucks. Like, you have a huge board setup, then it's okay. It's mainly good if you have no board. You can just sit back on him, just watch your opponent cry because Mephistopheles OP. And then, as if that wasn't not enough threats, I also played 2 copies of Blazer, the Eater Dimensions. Blazer is always a piece of... He's so hard to deal with if you don't, like, cancel his summon. Because Blazer can be played from and removed from game area, which seems kind of weird at first, but then he also has the ability to remove cards that hit the graveyard from the game. So he will actually, when he dies, he gets removed from game, then you just play it back. Oh, you thought that was just kind of... He also has swiftness, so that actually makes it pretty bad, because 11... I mean bad as in good, because 11-11 with swiftness, ouch, that's gonna hurt. Yeah, that's gonna really hurt. Blazer is one of my favorite, like, game enders. Like, you just top 5 Blazer, and then if they somehow remove it, top 5 Blazer. It's just terrible to deal with. It's really brutal card. And chunking them for 11 is pretty nasty too, so that's about it for all the resonators. So I'm just going to get started with the spells, because I'm running green, and for whatever reason green has all the good counter spells, or any counter spells, anything. So first I'm going to start off with free absolute cake zone. So cake zone is you can cancel like spells, so not summon spells, but just normal spells. And if you control Gretel, you draw a card. It's a nice bonus. And then I run 3 copies of Xeex, which I think is probably one of the best like spells in the game, like easily the best spell in the game. You can cancel target summons. You choose one of 4, but you can cancel target summon. You can give all your resonators +2/+2. You can make something hexproof. You can shuffle your graveyard back in the deck if you're gonna deck out. It's a seriously good utility spell, but its main purpose is to cancel your opponent's target summon. So like when they try to summon like a creature that you don't want to deal with, Xeex, and then if they try to cancel it, just cake zone them. And then I run 1 copy of Exceed. So Exceed's more of a multi-purpose. Like it can deal with either summon spells or like casted, like I don't know what they call them. Yeah, you just cancel any kind of spell. So normally how it works is that you summon something, it goes into like the chase zone, and then you can just cancel it with this, regardless of whether it's like these kind of spells or like just a resonator. So it's a great card. I just run it because it helps you like kind of balance it out, because sometimes it's almost like you have 4 of each, but it just costs 1 more. And then I run 4 copies of Thunder. Thunder is like one of the best spells in the game, I feel. It can deal 500 to anything. Deals 500 to J-Rulers, Resonators, or their face. So if you get a lot of Thunders and you can just keep burning them, you just use Tepes to just kill them. It's kind of silly, almost. Thunder is just a great spell, and it's also really cheap, like 1 red. It's instant. They cake zone it, whatever. I mean, you just trade 1 for 1. And they had to spend 2, you only need to spend 1. So it's really cheap. Can remove like resonators early. It's just so good. You can like double Thunder Rulers to kill them. And then 3 copies of Flame of Otherworld for really heavy removal, like stuff that you don't want them to save. You just flame it, then done. Like they don't even have to consider anything, because Flame of Otherworld deals 800 to J/resonators, and they can't chase to it, meaning that once you play it, it's over. Like you can't do anything about it. It incidentally gets over Leviathan and making J-Ruler imperishable, because they can't respond to it. They need to banish Leviathan to actually like be able to do anything. So it's one of my favorite spells in the game, because it's just stupid. Its artwork is also kind of pretty cool. And then I run 3 copies of Stoning to Death. Stoning is mainly there it destroys target resonator on play. So you just kill him. Kills anything for 2 darkness. You can consider running Dark Pulses or Awakening at the end for mass removal instead. But I like the target removal because you shouldn't be letting them get a huge board anyways. But you can always sideboard a Dark Pulse or whatever. And then I run for more spells, 2 copies of Spiral of Despair. It's really good against other control decks, or also aggro decks. Really hits their hand and just gives them less options. It's a good 2-drop spell too, so if you somehow hit 2 Darkness Stones early, then it's solid. And then finally, to top it all off, I run 2 copies of Necronomicon. Necronomicon is really silly with Thunders. And if your graveyard is just full, then like it doesn't matter that you don't have a hand. You can play anything from your graveyard. So, of course, he has the downside that you have to remove stuff from. If something will hit the grave, then it gets removed from game instead. And that at the end of the turn, you have to ditch all the cards you drew, and they basically get removed from game. It's a late game card, or it's also can finish people off. You can just finish people off with Thunders. Like it's honestly so abusable with Thunder because you can do this at like 5 or 6 wills. So yeah, overall I really like the way this deck plays. I'm not gonna go into sideboard options too much, but I feel like one of the things that might happen, because if Vlad gets really popular and you have to play control match, you want to take out Gretel's and put in Split Heaven and Earth for like a special stone burn spell, and you also want, that is if they play special stones too, because you don't want to really hit ramp too hard in that case. Well, you might, but it's not worth the risk of them playing Split Heaven and just killing you. Like, they are still prone to that, but like you have Cake Zone and stuff, of course, but yeah, you want to take these out for Split Heavens and just put in normal stones. You can also sideboard different spells, like if you're playing like Grimier or something, then you should put in like Crime and Punishment. It really depends on what is really popular, but I feel like Vlad is just gonna be huge, so that's one of the options you can consider. You can also consider life gain, or there's a lot of ways to do it, or you can do the anti-life gain too if you want to play a bit more risky. But I feel like this is a really good mix of spells, removal, burn, and resonators, so I really like the way this deck plays out. I actually find it fun. I don't know if other people find it fun. The people playing against it probably don't find it as fun, but it's a really kind of like a slower deck. But yeah, that was about it for my first Force of Will deck profile. I know it's long, but I really do like explaining like my thought process. Of course, I'm considering actually right now doing like these too long didn't watch videos where I just go through like what I'm playing in the deck. But I don't feel like that's the best idea because I really love explaining things really well. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. I know it was long. Like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll have more Force of Will content up soon. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye!